Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the Swim Run Show podcast. It's 2025, Happy New Year, and we are away. First off, apologies, I'm on the road, on the move. I haven't got my normal mic set up, so sound might be a little compromised, but hopefully not too bad. This week we've got a very special man who is called Joachim Wolff, founder of Wolffwear. If you're from Sweden and you swim run, you no doubt have heard of this man and his shop in Stockholm. It's got all the biggest range of swim run kits from lots of different brands. And back in the day, well, say 10 years ago anyway, when I found it, and it was started up well before that. But I guess the pre-ARC days, before ARC Sports were around, you could go to Wolffwear and just check out all the new swim run gear that was available. And it was evolving quickly. New things were coming out. It was like a toy store for swim runners. So it's great to have him on. If you've not checked out his shop, there's an online shop too, wolffwear.se. I will link to it. It's got some really good deals at the moment too. And if you're a triathlete who's listening to this podcast, welcome. You've come to the right place for more fun sport. He's got loads of triathlon gear and open water swimming, all sorts, head torches. It's just a good outdoor shop, really. But a big focus on swim run. So let's crack on. Oh, before that, yes, a couple of questions about the We Swim Run events in 2025. We're excited to bring the Eliminator format to Tallyclyn in Wales. That's a lake-based one. And to Abu Dhabi, also in Wales, but an estuary, more sea-based. Really cool. I've been working on these actual routes for the Eliminator in these locations for some time, and I love them. Really excited to expand what we offer in the Eliminator format. Without further ado, though, let's crack on with Joachim Wolff, all the way from Sweden. Here we go. Okay, we have Joachim Wolff here today. How are you, Joachim?
I'm fine. Nice being with you.
I'm good. Good. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
So Joachim, I didn't know Joachim at all, but I've known his company for some time, 10 years now,
Yeah,
Wolffwear.se, over
yeah,
in Sweden. And the reason, I guess, pre-ARC, before ARC were invented, I guess, and still now, there's not many one-stop shops you can go and look and browse loads of swim run gear. And your company was the only one I knew of back in 2014, 2015.
yeah.
And you'd have all the new stuff, all sorts. So yeah, how did it all start for you? What's the story with swim run, Joachim?
Well, first of all, it's natural. I think that some of the biggest swimrun suppliers and stores are in Sweden. I mean, here's where the sport origin. Well, I actually started my company all the way back in 1991.
Wow.
And to begin with, it was like an outdoor company doing ski clothing and down jackets, soft shell, hard shell jackets, stuff like that. Then starting with a small triathlon trend picking up in early 2000, 2005, 2006, somewhere there. Then we started selling swimsuits for triathlon and open water. And then eventually when swimrun started picking up in early 2010, 2011, 2012, I think actually the first real swimrun suit, the one that had produced, swimrun
Yeah.
base, I think it was launched in 2011 or 2012. Well, that's where all started. But in the beginning, there were no equipment, so everyone was making their own stuff. And we were producing a lot of stuff sort of by hand in our store, and we refitted or we mounted front zippers in triathlon suits, cutting out the legs and putting in a front zipper.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we engaged a tailor. She was more like a haute couture tailor, but she eventually became an expert on neoprene suits. So we mounted several hundred suits with front zippers.
All right.
Because there weren't really any alternative.
No.
Then we started our own brand. So we had a brand called Seal
Oh
that
yeah.
we launched. Yeah, we launched it in 2012 or 2013, and it was actually the first entry level.
Okay.
It had a back and a front zipper. It was really nice, actually. I still see it sometimes. And we had it for a couple of years, that model. It was called Seal R8 and Seal R9. And in the first couple of years, we sold a couple of thousands every year. So it was a really, really big demand in the beginning because, yeah, there weren't really any alternatives.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I remember the Seal, the R8 and R9.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was your invention.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
It was the brand, and we actually made everything that you need. We made the bungee cord, the pull belt. We had paddles. We have neoprene jammers, neoprene vest. We have socks, gloves, caps, bandanas, scarves. We made
Mm.
everything that you actually needed. But creating our own brand wasn't really. It was never the main goal. Um,
Mm.
we just saw a need.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw like all the other brands coming up with really good suits and materials and gears.
Mm-hmm.
So we really from the beginning we wanted to be a store, just picking out the best stuff in the market and
Mm-hmm.
making them available, helping people finding the right stuff. And we still make perhaps 200 items ourselves. Uh, Paddles and first aid kits and everything. But we don't make suits,
Okay.
but all the little stuffs and gears that you need.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the Seal is you can no longer get a new Seal, but there might be some second-hand ones out there for vintage
Yeah,
collectors.
yeah, exactly.
Very good. Cool. So yeah, I mean, you stock almost all the brands from
But not
from.
all the brands, but I mean, there's a lot of brands, but we try to pick out stuff that we really like and people that we like to work together with, and
Mhm.
trying to find a good mix. So I think
Yeah.
we have some 2,500 products, and yeah, and that is for swim run, triathlon, open water, indoor swimming.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Cool.
the range.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And do you see? I mean, you've been in it now a while. Do you see any? Do you think there'll be any more gaps or more needs that haven't been satisfied in swimrun equipment?
No, I think it has been interesting watching the trends, how the suits has been developing. The pool boys has become bigger and more streamlined. So, but I mean, we really speak to the whole community, to the market, the developers, the all the brands. So there's still developing going on. I think we will get a new pool boy today that we will start test.
Okay.
So I mean, it's still a young sport, but I mean, I think most of the stuff and gears has been set. Finding the right proportion between. I think in the beginning it was a bit more in the suit. I mean, in the beginning there was a bit more swim focused. Obviously, they had a much more buoyancy built into them, and then it became clear that you needed to have a suit better suited for running. So that was like a shift in the way that you thought about and constructed the suits.
Yeah. So the new pull buoy that is arriving today sounds exciting. Do you
Yeah,
test do you test them yourself, or do you have a team of
yeah,
swim runners?
yeah. I test some stuff myself, but we have a big team around us with coaches. But because I didn't mention that, but besides of the store part that we have our like event department. So we create about 50 events every year.
Okay.
So we produce camps, races, trainings. I think our swimrun trainings we have every Wednesday in Stockholm. It has been will be the 11th or 12th year that we have our open training, and that's like the first step into swimrun for people. So it's so you get to borrow everything. You get to borrow the suit and all the gears that you need. We have a
Okay.
really good swimmer coach there. So
Okay.
that's one of the aims that we have, trying to get more people into the sport, get them to try swimrun.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, and we have a swimrun series called the Sweden. Sorry, I forgot the name. Sweden Swimrun Sprint Series. We have a series of 6 swimrun races. 3 of them we arrange ourselves, and we have 3 others. So I think
Okay.
the first race we did was called the Amphibian Man. I think
Oh
we
yeah.
made that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we made that in 2017. I think it was back in our first swimmer camp in Mallorca we did in 2015. So we have a lot of events, both swimrun and triathlon and some swim events. We also, I know that you're running a swimrun pod, but like to speak a little bit about the stuff that we began doing a year ago, the swim and hike. So I think I don't know if you're familiar with that
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's quite
yeah,
it. Well, it does happen here in the UK. Swim hike.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's great uh, to have the ability to do the similar idea behind swimrun, but you do it in another way. I mean, you don't have to be a good trail runner, so I think it opens up doors for people who don't have not so good in running or having knee problems or something, can't do the running, but still want to go out in the nature, combining these two sports. And yeah, we've seen a really good interest and increase in that sports. So that's really great.
Yeah, cool. And are you taking some kind of rucksack each swim hike? You know, take a bit of a rucksack that you tow along behind you, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, so
Yeah.
you have, yeah, exactly. You have this little raft that you towing behind you, and you have a big dry bag. So you put your hiking gears there, you put your rucksack and your shoes, hiking shoes there. And so you don't have the fast transition that you have in swim runs. You don't have that smooth up and down between the elements. So I mean, takes you 10, 15 minutes to do the transition, changing, putting on the wetsuit. So obviously you don't have so many many intervals. So maybe you do 1, 2, or 3 longer swims,
Yeah.
and equivalent amount of hikes.
Okay.
And obviously
Okay.
that's not like an race thing that you do. It's more like an event.
Yeah. A
Uh,
guided.
yeah, like
Yeah.
guided tour. You do it with a commercial company or doing it together with some friends. But the same idea, like coming out into nature and experience the hiking and the swimming, combining
Yeah.
them. So I think it's a really great branching out from the swim run idea.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. I see you've got one in the Lake District in the UK.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We are working together with Will Watts. Uh, he's been creating this little rock raft
Yeah. Yeah.
the stuff that you put behind you. So that's a great feature.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So, you guys at your shop is actually in central Stockholm, is it? Or
Yeah, we've been moving around a little bit. So we just recently, like in May last year, we moved into. We were actually sitting in an old church. I'm
oh,
actually sitting there. I don't know if you can hear
it
it.
looks like a church. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have about 8 or 9 meter in the ceilings above me. So
Mm.
it's in a church from 1895. It's a really nice showroom. So we're just sitting out a little bit outside of Stockholm, but we've been sitting for like 20 years in the central of Stockholm. But we moved out a little bit, and actually the last place we had was like 600 or 700 square meters. But now we have a much more smaller showroom, and then we have like a big warehouse and web distributing and packing facility. So
Okay.
that's like a bit of a shift, obviously. We have actually we have had a web shop since the mid 90s. We have always had a web shop, but obviously it's taking more and more part of the sales.
Yeah.
So and that we're selling to more than 100 countries.
Wow.
So and we were very early,
Yeah.
being like a global company, and it's kind of easy in this small sports of swimrun and even triathlon to it's such a small sport, so it's kind of easy to reach out to people in Portugal or Israel or Argentina or Hong Kong or every people like
Mm.
all over the world that is interested in the sports. I mean, they find friends and suppliers wherever they are in the world. So
Yeah.
that's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. So, from your door, from the church door, can you go out and test products, swim run apps?
Uh, we have about 1K to the nearest lake, but
Okay.
we arrange a lot of test events, so you can try out equipment both indoor and open water. So
Indoor.
and I think
Okay.
yeah, we
Sorry.
have like wetsuit test indoor, but I think well sometimes you ask why you're doing this because I mean being an entrepreneur and working meaning that you're working 24/7. It's a lot of work, uh, and we have this broad, wide range of products. So a lot of stuff uh, to handle, and all the logistics we have. I think we have 50 or 60 suppliers. Sometimes you ask yourself why
Yeah.
why are you doing this, But I think the answer is really the contact we have with our users. Speaking to swimrunners all day, all over the world, hearing their stories and their needs, and helping them finding the right gears, and listening to their goals, and hearing their stories, and connecting people with each other, and all the events that we are organizing, meeting all these people. I mean, that's the thing that keep us doing this. So yeah, I think that's a really nice thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely keeping in touch. But yeah, I can imagine carting around loads of test equipment with loads of different sizes, especially in wetsuits with all the different sizes and everything.
Yeah,
Can be a job.
yeah.
So, have you got any races yourself lined up this 2025, or you're just too busy?
No, I'm like a really really amateur hobby swim runner. I do love swim run, and I do love running, trail running, and swimming. But I hardly do any racing. More swim running events with friends. Just a nice summer day.
Okay, that's
Um,
yeah.
so my way into the business is not actually being an athlete or a swim runner. It's more like the entrepreneur part of me, and love working with people, and love creating good service. So I
Yeah.
think that's my way into the business. But
Well, that's
I always liked being out in the nature, doing sports, and do a lot of skiing, cross-country skiing, cross-country ice skating, and hiking, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's in the UK here. We're probably not as up to speed with the kind of social swim running as you are in Sweden. You've kind of, because I think there's a lot of people in Sweden that just swim run like
Mhm.
with friends, just go out for a run, or it's a bit like that. It doesn't have to be a race. Whereas in the
Mhm.
UK, there's it's still at the stage where you're kind of doing races. There's a few people, swim running together, but it's not as big. Certainly not as big as over in Sweden. But it will one day, I suppose, get there.
Yeah, yes. I suppose sport has to grow a little bit. So I mean, you have to find a critical mass. So in an area that's need to be so you can get together a group.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you are in the surroundings, but where you have people around you and in the area doing swim run, then it's more easy and natural. Just getting some people together.
Yeah.
And I also in the Stockholm region, and also in other parts of the Sweden, there's lots of really good opportunity for doing swim run. We have thousands and thousands of lakes and coastlines, so it's kind of easy
Yeah.
getting out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've noticed recently with the swim runners in the UK and the swimmers actually, and probably triathletes. There's although I love swimming in the sea, it's my preference. It feels like more people prefer the lakes. Um, I don't know if it's safety concerns or whatever, being comfortable. But yeah, in the Lake District, there's definitely a lot of scope for social swim running. Scotland as well, and Wales, of
Hmm.
course, North Wales.
Hmm.
It's a little bit more the trying to find the flatter land can be challenging in Wales to get between lakes. that are good swimming lakes, it's quite hard not to go over mountains. Or
Yeah,
should I
yeah,
say?
yeah,
Yeah, but we've I think the Lake District has got a little bit more scope for that. Scotland has got all sorts. It's a little bit, the weather can be a bit of a challenge. And then the coastal, for me, the coastal stuff is the best. But again, you've got more environmental, wind, swell, tide, generally can affect things. But Cornwall, North Wales, Anglesey,
yeah.
with the archipelago, and in Sweden and Stockholm, I know you do get of course you get bad weather there, but it feels like there's
Mm.
more
Yeah,
settled weather in some
exactly.
parts.
It's
Yeah,
it's it's even if you have a rough weather, it's can almost always find a good protected place, so you can still do your events. So that's like wait, yeah, that's a fantastic thing that we have the Stockholm archipelago. It's it's a really treasure. Uh, uh, it, it's really paradise for swim runners.
yeah, yeah. It definitely is. Definitely is.
Um, so how's your view on the international market for swimrun? Uh, what's your opinion of the development of the sport in general?
Well, oh, that's a big question, Joachim.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, America is gaining momentum. Well, it looks like it, with participation. Certainly, number of races, number of
Mm,
events you can do.
mm,
Same with UK. It was more races, and everywhere else. France, of course, is going great.
mm,
I feel like in I don't know. I feel like the longer stuff, like the Otalo World Series type distances, are becoming
mm,
possibly less popular, or they're growing less quickly than
mm, mm.
the shorter distances seem to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
growing slightly quicker.
yeah, yeah.
And I've realized I did an eliminator swim run last year. Hang on, what year? Yeah, last year,
Mm,
2024 in Liverpool, and I realized there how how amazing it was to anyone could just turn up and look what's happening and work out what swim run was immediately, as
yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to you see someone on the start line, say for example in Abu Dhabi where I have a race, and you don't see them again for 3 hours. You're not sure
Mm,
what they've done.
mm,
You know
mm.
they started running and finished running, but they don't know
Yeah,
where they've been. So, and they didn't see any transitions really or anything like that. So I feel like I really enjoyed putting on that eliminator. It's a knockout format, where
yeah, yeah.
you do a lap and then you know the score. I really enjoyed it as a race director, and just watching it happen and seeing the sharing of knowledge along the course. Because the first lap for quite a lot of people, they just cruise it as you would, because
Mm,
they know they're going to make the time, and just chat to each other,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
not really racing, and sharing experiences, ideas, kits, chat, all good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And that it just felt like it was a better, in a way, a more productive learning experience. So I'm excited about that format feeding in to the longer distance stuff. So to get all
yeah.
those people, because for me, I love the long distance stuff, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
as you said, I think it's really good for the sport that it's being a bit more fragmented. So you have this ultra long distances. You have like the sprint ones, and you have like open training sessions. And well, obviously, Ötila have been doing amazing thing for the sports. I mean, they're the one who like spread the sport widely. Uh, but I think, as you were saying, it will be a much more different kind of races, and
yeah,
as we spoke about, more like events and social event swim run.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a small sport, and it's a struggle for us every day
Mm.
spreading swim run, and we are trying to reach out to the swim clubs, to triathletes, to uh, like running clubs,
Mm.
inviting people from other sports to try out swim run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like a constant thing that we're doing. Well, trying to spread the sport and getting people to try it out.
Yeah. Building the base. That's what I
Yeah.
feel. I feel like the shorter stuff, eliminator and the sprint, all those things, and then I don't know, 20% of that base might then go on to a World Series or a
Mm.
long distance event, and take a few people with them. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's yeah. I organise some running only and some swimming only events. So
Mm.
I'm constantly telling my participants to try swim run.
Yeah. Yeah.
In particular, like I realised the swimmers. It's sometimes, well, quite often. Not to say the race can be won and lost on the swim alone, but I've realised that if you're a really good swimmer, like a really good swimmer, but you feel like your running's not that good, because you're swimming so good, you're so much fresher than some of the runners who aren't very good swimmers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've realised that because my personally, I'm not a really good swimmer, but I'm quite a good swimmer and very comfortable going at the pace I know swimming, which sets me
Mm.
up quite nicely for the running, where I'm not on a road. I'm not fast at all, but I seem to be able to do better. My run pace and swim run somehow is better than you'd expect, and I think this it's to do with this how you physically and mentally cope with the swimming sections.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Whereas
But
some of the run, like some
mm.
fast runners, come in that aren't very good at swimming,
Mm.
and they struggle so much more on the runs because they've put so much into the swim.
Yeah.
Uh, they, they
Yeah, but actually, it's my feeling that it's quite few swimmers that are coming into the sport. I would say that like 8 or 9 out of 10 are not swimmers.
mm,
They're coming from other sports, maybe from triathlon and
mm,
runners and orienteering. So there's quite a few coming from the swim side actually.
mm,
But also one other thing that's fantastic anyway in Sweden with swimrun, I would say it's a really gender equal sport.
mm.
We have been looking at the figures, mainly from Scandinavia and Sweden for many years, and it's like a 50-50 between men and women. So
It's brilliant. Yeah,
that's also an amazing thing.
yeah, yeah. And on that point, looking at the ages, what I do
Yeah,
think is it's basically 35 to
yeah,
50.
we're missing the youngsters. Absolutely, that's that's one thing. And that's always for many years been a struggle for us. Trying to get young people.
Yeah,
We have been trying to arrange swim run for kids and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah. I think that
we
that kind of the shorter options eventually, I think, will attract more youngsters, and organisers are definitely trying to attract more young folks.
yeah,
Um,
obviously it has to do with lack of clubs. I mean,
yeah.
you have the swim clubs, and they take up people from young ages. So, but swim run is something that you have to find yourself, organize yourself, do yourself. So
Yeah.
you don't have that structure with clubs and that organize the thing around it.
Mm,
So yeah. So
yeah.
I actually would hope that more swim clubs would expand out a little bit, taking in swim run as as a part of their activities.
I could see that maybe happening in Sweden. I can't see that happening in the UK.
No, barely here in Sweden, but I think that would be a good thing to get more younger people into the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there with the club model in the UK to be kind of recognised as an official sports club. There needs to be some kind of structured governing body federation in place.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah,
the kind of
yeah,
sports UK sports and all the official stuff don't recognise you.
yeah.
So
I think that has been the talk within the swimmer community always from the beginning. Should you try to have some kind of federation or not? Obviously, there's plus and minus with that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it would help building up and spreading the sport. But you lose a bit of the freedom.
Yeah, I think ultimately it'll probably, if we do want young people to come in and it to properly become a sport that's a little bit bigger, probably have to happen in some way.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know the old like me and probably yourself and some of the older people who've been in it for a while. Like like the freedom, we love the freedom, don't we? Of
Mm.
not having any regulations, etc.
No.
But but I think as you say, there's pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Now I've just been looking at your website, Joachim.
Mhm.
I've just noticed something that looks quite cool. A swim run party in November. What's that about? What happens
Yeah,
there?
as I said, we have this little series, Sweden Swimrun Sprint Series, and that's like uh, an finishing, ending of the season get
Ah, okay.
together.
Cool. Okay, that's good.
So, but you're welcome if you're
If I'm around,
happen
okay.
if you happen to be in Sweden. So I mean, we like to do a social thing. We do swimrun training that I mentioned that we have on Wednesdays. We always end it with a barbecue. We
Nice.
do first we have like 1.5 hour of training together, and then we have half an hour, 1 hour barbecue. Just hanging out afterwards. So I
Okay.
think that's one of the like social parts of swimrun. Uh, so, so not only the sport part of it, but also the getting together and social part.
Yeah.
It's a big thing with the sport, I think.
So that's every
So
Wednesday. Every Wednesday you've got that in summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
barbecue every Wednesday, and
Okay.
a bit of a swim run, but actually it's barbecue. That's the thing.
Oh, cool.
So no, no,
Uh,
kidding. But it's good. It's a good mix. It's a good combination.
cool. And in your series, your kind of sprint series, how many races in the sprint series?
Last year we had 6, and I think it will be 6 races this year. So it's this year it will be Finnhamn, Husarö, Femöre, EX, Norrtälje, and Sigtuna.
Oh,
Yes,
EX.
the EX is one of them.
That's in your
Yeah,
series. Oh, cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And so, do many people come over and do your Wednesday? That know about you guys. Do your
Mm.
Wednesday? Say they're doing Uto or Gothenburg. I'm just thinking, if you had time, if participants had time, they could do something with you on the Wednesday and Uto at the weekend. Make a proper few days of it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, we have a lot of core group that comes every Wednesday, but then we have a lot of people coming in from abroad. They're visiting Stockholm, and they're swim runners, so they know about our trainings. And also, well, obviously we have like 85% of our sales is in the web shop, but we love to have people coming to the store, and obviously it's a good thing to try out stuff, suits and gears. Have the opportunity to try different stuff. So we have a lot of people that aren't from Sweden. I would say a lot more than 50% is people coming from abroad, being in Stockholm for some reason.
Yeah.
Perhaps they've been the customers in our web shop and they're stopping by, and that's really great.
Yeah.
So we meet a lot of interesting, funny people.
Yeah. Right. Cool. And you've got some shoes as well. You've got some of the VJs in stock.
Yeah, that's our favorite. So, and also it's one of the things that we love, that people tend to spend a lot of time in the store. So I would say that the average time they stay is absolutely like around 1 hour or more. So people love to stay around, hang around, and tell their stories. That's one of the things that we really like.
Cool. Well, I'll try and pop in. I'll be going to Uto this year, and probably be in Sweden again further down the line. So yeah, I will try and pop in.
Yeah, we really hope to see you around in the shop and on some of the events that we are doing.
Yeah. That's you got a lot going on. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, Joachim, thank you very much for coming on. Wolfwear.
Yeah,
What a great shop.
speaking to you. Yeah.
And hopefully see you in 2025.
Yeah, we will make sure of that.
Cool. Thank you.